Hey there, it's Corey with Ascend Smarter Intervention, and I wanted to run through progress monitoring and some progress monitoring tools quickly. So we know that one of the most important pieces of literacy intervention and intervention as a whole is having solid goals and having solid tools to be able to keep track of student performance. So one of the things that we have included as part of our membership site is a number of progress monitoring tools that you can use. So in this first spot, what you're going to see is we have a why progress monitoring video, and that's going to be really helpful and important to just get an idea of what's the purpose of all of this. We're constantly adding new downloads. So right now we've got the slides available for this presentation. However, we will also be adding a number of other data sheets and things that you can use so that if you are progress monitoring based on your own IEP goals or response to intervention goals or private practice goals, whatever that might look like for your setting, you can definitely look here. Why progress monitoring will also make sure to get those data sheets loaded there for you. Additionally, we have a number of assessments that we like to use. So for example, we have the baseline assessment, and be on the lookout. We don't always have videos, however, we will be adding videos just to help run you through this assessment and what it looks like. But you can go ahead and click on the download, and what you're going to see is you are going to get a complete, comprehensive assessment that we like to use. And this is really just a great way to take a look and see where your students are at. So if you're working in a one-to-one or small group, we would recommend breaking this up as much as you need to, but you've got all of the instructions right there for you on how to do this. We focus on phonological awareness, auditory discrimination, keep on going. Sound symbol knowledge, so knowing whether or not your students have, basic consonant sounds, vowel sounds, digraphs, trigraphs, basic spelling rules, welded sounds, our control of vowels, vowel teams, complex stable final syllables. And there's a couple welded sounds in there. And then basic decoding. So we can look at decoding vowel consonant words versus consonant vowel consonant, or words with blends and digraphs, vowel consonant E, and then of course your bossy R, your open syllables, your vowel teams, all of those things, because we want to see where our students breaking down. So one of the most important things that we can be doing as we are progress monitoring is figuring out at what level are students tapping out and where are the gaps and the holes. Being able to identify where gaps and holes are at in both reading and spelling is going to help us to understand where we can continue to target our intervention. That's why progress monitoring is so important, because what we're doing is we are making sure that wherever there is a gap or a hole, that we're continuing to target that area. So that's what the baseline assessment looks like. So we definitely recommend checking that out if you have students who you really just need to see where those holes and gaps are falling. We also have this for kind of a beginner level, so our kindergarten through second grade, as well as we break it down for each of the different syllable types. And we have a phonological awareness progress monitoring where we can be taking a look at where potentially your phonological awareness skills breaking down. So if we take a look in our phonological awareness skills, what you'll see is that we have all of these different pieces, so sentence segmenting, auditory discrimination, all of these different skills, as well as benchmarks, or those kind of criterion referenced marks that we can be using to determine where our students are at. So you can kind of keep scrolling all the way through that. But we also have some examples of what that should ideally look like, some examples of what those look like when they're completely filled out, as well as sheets that you can be using to be tracking your data for each of your students. They love tracking their data, so we would definitely recommend allowing them to do that. We have another video of what it looks like when you administer these as well. So if you want to see the actual administration, go ahead and check that out. But what you'll see is that you've got a very clear mark of what do we have, what do we not have, and how is our percent accuracy improving over time. So those are some examples of a few of the different things that we have in there. We'll flip back to our other screen. And what you can see is that we have it for, again, overall ability and literacy, as well as breaking down to differentiated pieces that we may progress monitor. It's important to note that we don't use all of these tools for every single student. We try to take where they are functioning and determine which is going to be the best fit. So if you're a part of our Intervention Insiders group, you can absolutely jump into our Facebook group where we're happy to answer those questions for you. If you say, hey, my student's struggling with this and that, which progress monitoring tool should I use? We love answering those types of questions. But it's super, super important to make sure that you are using some type of progress monitoring tool and placement assessment. We also have the progress monitoring webinar available as well. So if you're curious about just learning more about progress monitoring and how to track data, we are super excited to share that as well. So definitely be on the lookout for all of our webinars as well. Look forward to seeing you there.